Hunger has a sound. It is quiet, almost invisible, but it echoes loudly in the chest of a child who wakes up every morning unsure if the day will end with a full stomach. On one cold morning, just as the city was stretching awake and the streets smelled of rain and burnt coffee, a thin boy stood outside a small roadside diner, staring through the fogged glass at plates he could not afford. He did not know it then, but this ordinary moment of hunger, this ordinary diner, and one unexpected visit would rewrite the entire story of his life. Before we go deeper, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of small good deeds, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them most. The boy's name was Adam, and he was 12 years old when hunger became his daily companion. His mother had passed away 2 years earlier after a long illness that drained not just her strength, but every last saving they had. His father disappeared soon after, swallowed by grief and bad choices, leaving Adam with nothing but a rented room, a worn-out backpack, and a responsibility far heavier than his small shoulders. School was something he attended when he could, but survival came first. Every morning before classes, he walked past the same diner, its flickering sign buzzing like a tired insect, and every afternoon after school, he returned to the same spot, hoping for leftovers, hoping for mercy, hoping not to be seen and chased away. The diner was not fancy. It had chipped mugs, cracked tiles, and booths patched with duct tape. But it was warm, and warmth meant everything to a child who often slept hungry. At first, Adam only stood outside, pretending to wait for someone, pretending not to stare. On the third day, the smell became unbearable, and his stomach betrayed him with a loud growl that even he could not ignore. That was the day the diner noticed him. The owner was a middle-aged woman who had learned to read people the way others read menus. She had seen hunger before, had lived through seasons when generosity was all that kept her standing. Without asking questions or making a scene, she began leaving a plate on the corner table every afternoon. No receipt, no bill, just food. Adam never said thank you out loud, but he cleaned the plate so thoroughly it looked washed, and his eyes carried a gratitude too big for words. This routine became their unspoken agreement. The diner fed the boy daily, and the boy, in return, caused no trouble and asked for nothing more. Days turned into months. Adam grew stronger, though still thin, and his school attendance improved. He began helping after meals, wiping tables and stacking napkins without being asked. The diner staff noticed but never mentioned it. Kindness, when pure, does not demand recognition. For Adam, the diner was not just a place to eat. It was proof that the world had not completely forgotten him. Then, one evening, everything shifted. The rain fell hard that night, hammering the streets and blurring the city into streaks of light. The diner was unusually busy, filled with travelers avoiding the storm. Among them was a man who did not fit the room. His coat alone likely cost more than the diner's monthly rent. His presence changed the air, not because he was loud, but because he carried himself with the calm confidence of someone used to controlling outcomes. This man was a millionaire, though no one there knew his name, and he had stopped only because his driver suggested waiting out the storm. The man sat near the window, observing more than eating. He noticed Adam almost immediately. He noticed how the boy waited until most customers were served before touching the food left for him. He noticed how the staff treated him with quiet respect, not pity. And most of all, he noticed the way Adam ate, slowly, as if afraid the food might vanish if he rushed. The millionaire had built his fortune through sharp instincts and relentless discipline, but life had hardened him. He believed in numbers, not miracles. Yet something about that boy unsettled him. Perhaps it was the memory of his own childhood, once poor, once hungry, long buried beneath success. Or perhaps it was the realization that real need often survives quietly in plain sight. Over the next few days, the man returned, always at the same time, always watching. Adam did not know why the stranger kept coming back, only that his presence made him nervous. He tried to stay invisible, to not appear greedy or desperate. But the diner continued its routine, and the food continued to appear. One evening, the storm returned, and with it, the turning point Adam could never have imagined. The diner was nearly empty when the millionaire arrived alone. Adam sat at his usual table, finishing his meal. The silence between them felt heavy, filled with unasked questions. For the first time, the man looked directly at the boy, not with judgment, but with curiosity sharpened by empathy. That night, the millionaire learned Adam's story, not through interrogation, but through patience. He learned about the loss, the loneliness, the way hunger had taught Adam to measure time by meals instead of hours. He learned about school dreams interrupted by reality and about a boy who believed gratitude was a form of survival. And something inside the man cracked open. The next morning, the diner opened as usual. Adam arrived as usual. But what followed was anything but usual. The millionaire had returned, not as a customer, but as a decision-maker. He paid the diner's debts without fanfare. He funded repairs, raised wages, and ensured that no child in that neighborhood would ever be turned away hungry again. But his greatest investment was not in the building. It was in Adam. Adam was offered stability, education, a future. Not charity disguised as generosity, but opportunity wrapped in dignity. He was enrolled in a school that valued potential over background. He received mentorship, not lectures. For the first time, his life was not shaped by what he lacked, but by what he could become. Years passed, and the diner's sign no longer flickered. It shone steadily, a quiet landmark of hope. Adam grew into a young man with purpose etched into his work ethic. He studied relentlessly, driven not by ambition alone, but by memory. He remembered every hungry night, every silent plate of food, every small kindness that had kept him alive. The millionaire watched from a distance, never claiming credit, never seeking praise. He had learned something from the boy in the diner. He had learned that the smallest acts, repeated daily, could alter the trajectory of a life more powerfully than grand gestures ever could. As Adam graduated, he returned to the diner, not as a hungry boy, but as someone who understood the weight of what that place had given him. He funded scholarships, he volunteered, he ensured the cycle of kindness did not end with him. The diner remained what it had always been, a refuge disguised as a restaurant, a place where hunger met compassion without conditions. If this story is touching your heart right now, if it reminds you of the power of one small act done consistently, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps keep these stories alive. Just before we reach the end, we have a special request for you. Please comment below with a single word that represents kindness to you. Your words may inspire someone reading them silently. Adam never forgot that hunger has a sound, but he also learned that kindness does too. It sounds like a plate gently placed on a table, like a door left unlocked, like a second chance offered without judgment. And sometimes it sounds like a millionaire choosing to see a hungry boy not as a problem, but as a promise.